reform. And so, yes, I would like to see the bill in Congress pass on police reform, but I know that the right wing, the racists, are opposed to it, and I don't know what's going to happen to it. But I know this: we've got to stay in the street, and we've got to demand justice.
As a black man, despite all of the efforts, I feel like nothing changes. And George Floyd is waking so many people up, yet nothing has happened. Despite the rhetoric, like what needs to happen that's different this year than all the years before?
We're looking for a guilty verdict. We're looking for a guilty verdict, and we're looking to see if all of the talk that took place and has been taking place after they saw what happened to George Floyd, if nothing does not happen, then we know that we've got to not only stay in the street, but we've got to fight for justice. But I am very hopeful, and I hope that we're going to get a verdict that will say guilty, guilty, guilty. And if we don't, we cannot go away.
And not just manslaughter, right? I mean...
Oh, no, not manslaughter. No. This is guilty for murder. I don't know whether it's in the first degree, but as far as I'm concerned, it's first degree murder.
Congresswoman, what happens if we do not get what you just told? What should the people do? What should protesters on the street do?
I didn't hear you.
What happens?
What should protesters do?
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
The news in you, north, east, west, south, unite from every alley and Cali intersection and back street. The judge in the George Floyd trial says Maxine Waters, her Twitter comments were disgusting. And he also went on to say that it would open it up for Derek Chauvin to be able to appeal the charges against him. And that's crazy. She told reporters that Derek Chauvin definitely should be found guilty of first-degree murder. And she went on to say, if not, the people, we should stay in the streets and also beef up the confrontation, which we already know kind of what that would get the people. Pepper spray, billy club, gigantic rubber bullets, and it would be a mess. So somewhat I understand why the judge is disgusted with it. But on the other hand, you have to understand her. She's been on this American soil for many moons, and she saw a lot of racism take place. And sometimes you get fed up and sick and tired. And when you hear this clip, that's just what she sounds like. Like a woman scorned by a racist system. So I don't blame her for saying what she said, because she said it out of anger. She's mad. And by her being in politics, she has an insight. She can see where it's going. She can see where this thing is headed. It's headed down a bad place. It's headed down the no justice lane, which is something. And also on that note, the use of force expert Barry Broad said that what Derek Chauvin did by kneeling on George Floyd's neck was not deadly force. He said that he was acting with objective reasonableness. Ain't that something? And he's the expert. So you can see that she knows where it's headed, because that's coming from the expert's mouth. But after he did that, his home in California was vandalized. They threw pig blood all over the doors, all over the garage, and also threw a pig head on his front lawn. because the people were disgusted. It's like we've been down this road so many times, we could almost have a premonition and know where it's headed. And that's a shame. It's a shame on this systematic system that we live in. And it has to change. And you got to figure it out. With so much going on in this world, things come and go too fast. So we never can be stuck on one thing till we get the justice, till we get it repaired and fixed. Because while we're getting one thing fixed, something else breaks down. It's like having a used car. The world, we, the Americas, just have to pump their brakes and say, let's fix this thing before it erupts like a volcano and never stops flowing, like it almost did in 2020. It flowed for a long time. So we got to think about that, family. To the politicians, to the systematic people, y'all going to have to think about it. Because people are too frustrated. And that's what causes people to implode. And with that, I'm going to say, this is the news in you. North, east, west, south. Unite from every alley in Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.